So I saw this one hit the front page, and I realized I think this is also some naval action tapes. I think was the one that was just submitted to Desk Q. Yeah, it is. Now, granted, they say they feel it would be blessed start for Trample. Let's play it. I mean, there's just not much content for me to play anymore. People aren't submitting too many like straight up curse seeds. So there is the Void Binding and Peril, so I can already see that. It is diligent, but starting with these. I mean, I suppose we could try it. Though, Hailhorn at the magic is an architect. It's like, would I ever take Monstrous here, even with these starters? I suppose I would. I mean, if you think about it, we already got this magic that's good to hit because it's Hellhorn and not an Umbra banner. And this magic's probably better than this because there's a vortex, but if we don't, I guess the Monstrous means we could technically get by without a banner unit, maybe. There's a Hellvent there, opposite the magic though. That's not necessarily great, and opposite of vortex. Where's the other Hellvent? Here. But this magic's good. This magic's not. I suppose I would probably take Monstrous in this situation. I suppose Center Salve here makes sense. We got two Scourge bosses. Theoretically, put a holdover and a Perils, and wouldn't really need Split Anvil. Definitely would take this. Go banners, could go technology, could go. No, we wouldn't go indulgence. Probably just a banners. It's not an easy trial. This boss, which is already hard, would have the troop is hard with the shards is hard. Fuck. I don't think we take this. The molting imp, like we're guaranteed to have a sharded up crossbowman. That alone, I think, makes us not able to take that trial. You know, maybe we get lucky and are able to somehow do it, but I'm just not even gonna bother with that. Like, this is really good to do this with no armor trial, but were there an armor trial, it would have been bad. So many lifesteal stacks. All right. Could take another one of those. This would make intrinsic pretty good. Also, especially if we're going full trample. Intrinsic that, and I don't have to take a pip upgrade. But having another perils would be good into diligent. 1, 2, 3 temples, 4 temples. Simply taking a 0 cost. I would take that one then. Just thinking like having some fodder for diligence good. Even though this spends all my ember, the thought here is that I would be ember drained and not having any ember anyway, but this at least does a little bit more for me than fortified does. I could give it a plus 10 pierce or something. We're going to go for holdover here and an actual banner unit rather than an umbra. Double stack. Spell chain and intrinsic. Easily this goes here. I just don't know if I spell chain it. I don't have to. I don't know that I gain much from spell chaining it in this particular situation. Double stacks potentially going on the void binding. It does suck that we're so low on gold that we can't actually reroll here. I could skip and reroll for a very low chance of being able to afford it. Take this. Double stacking this would be good. I'm going to hold off on any... I'm going to open myself up to the fact that I may just not get holdover, and at that point I need a different game plan. I think we can take this trial. I have a lot of AoE. Who knows if I'll actually get it, though. Well, this could be a quick one. Alright, we bottom deck all 3 AoEs. Nice. We can take you out, take you out, take you out. Block 1 hit. Still no fucking AoE. God damn, dude. It's so stupid. It's just so fucking stupid. Oh, yay, 1 AoE. Just buy ourselves a fucking turn here. We should win this, but god, that was just annoyingly close. Here we could take 1 more perils. We might just go the route of let's fill our deck with a bunch of perils, and then I don't need to hit holdover just because I have so many of them. Hidden Passage could work. I don't know though. It's a little at odds. Well, it's not really. This is just so I can put the Penumbra down and put the Steelworker up. Most likely unable to hit this steel. I have to go to the Hell Vent. Not likely to really get another usable banner. I think we're kind of committed to the Penumbra here. We'll just skip, so I have some more stuff to work with here. Gonna take the Shadow Eater for maybe an Alpha Eater. But again, it's not likely that I find it. These are no good. Could maybe do that on the vent, but I'm already pretty high in shards. This is most likely the one we would just have as decent fodder. It's kind of like apparels in a way. I think with Hellhorn, that's pretty good. Broken Memories, plus just good into Diligent. I'm going to duplicate this one for now, and then the future ones go into Perils. I'm just hoping I can get a holdover before I do anything. There will be no haste in this fight. I think we have to cast these. Just sucks how we drew both these perils here. Yeah, I think we actually have to cast these. Should just put the dude up here. We definitely should have put the Steelworker up there. Might have thrown here. I don't even know. Cast that. What we need to do is drop Perils and Void Binding at the same time. Alright, luckily we do. And we got a little bit lucky there. Could also just abandon ship and go Transcendent Molting Imp. That would allow me to go left. So I'm starting to not like what I'm seeing here. But the steals are not super enticing on this map. Like, this one is technically hittable, and the final one is, but I don't even have like a temple here, so it's like I'd have to put the Molting Imp 25 shard thing speculatively into Transcendent, and then 50-50 there, go for low value steals. I guess this steal is technically not low value, so this steal is hittable. But like if I go to this one, I'm not hitting that magic. So we got two game plans here that require, for the most part, hitting a single upgrade at either the magic or the steel. I think there's more outs at the magic, because Permafrost could kind of work on apparels, and then I Hellvent it twice. So if I don't hit holdover, there's always Permafrost. Plus the Vortex right now is, like, this is a higher value node than this is. Health is better than gold, Vortex is better than a Hellhorn banner, and the magic is better than the steel. I don't care about multi-strike, I don't care about quick, I don't care about large stone. I only care about endless. And you know, it's not as good as the Queen Zimpling Infusion even, so it's like, I would have to kind of hit it here so that I can Hellvent it twice. I would definitely need 3 of them, and probably even some more stuff, so I think we're going the Merchant of Magic route now. So we've talked ourselves out of Transcendent. We don't need a Umbra Stone since that's redundant with what we have. We could take a dark deal for just additional fodder. I don't like it though, it breaks a damage shield. We're gonna want those damage shields. I think we just skip here. So I could have had the Alpha Eater. That would have been nice. I think we're pretty committed to our line. Like, I don't see Construct working for us. We cannot feed it musts. We can't feed it anything. Probably just going to remove the Steelworker, honestly. Definitely going to have to go double draw. There's no way we don't do that. So hopefully we at least hit Permafrost if we don't hit Holdover here. Well, not off to a good start. Let's get these down. There's always also just using the Shade Splitters could work with the Hell's Banners. So the worst magic possible happens. I'd say so far it's not necessarily blessed, at least the route we've taken. Could purge. I mean, we're probably having the Hellvent. It's kind of shitty though. Like, I don't even know if we have a good Hellvent at this point. We might just have to go to the Merchant of Magic. It's not a horrible magic to hit. It just sucks that we can't Hellvent. I think we're gonna have to just go. Yeah, I don't think we have a good Hellvent, so it's just not gonna happen. So we need to save some money. There's no way that we want these stewards, so let's get rid of them. And yeah, I mean, and get 15, 25, 35. That'll put me to 60. I could put 40 together. No, I can't really. I can put 35 together here. And then I guess I just have to Hellvent something worth 10. So like I might have to just do something here. Could purge out a torch, I guess. We'll do that. Because I'm either that or I self-infuse a steward to remove it. And it reminds me of why I just don't value Trample Penumbra, though. I think it's one of the worst paths in the game. Like, you have the best setup for it, and it's still just not that good. Like, especially, like, we would have the Umbra Stone. We would have been better off just going Architect. I'm pretty confident of it. We'd have way more options. I think it's, to me, Trample is one step above Dire Channel. I think it's actually worse than Sleep Tethys, even, if I'm being honest. I think Sleep Tethys will do more for you on a run than Trample Penumbra will. Definitely Gorge is better, I think. The multi-strike is tough. And this guy's not necessarily so great for us either. But this is not a hard group, necessarily. I think we can take this. But our damage shields are going to be bye-bye. But I gotta... be honest, I kind of was thinking that along the lines of, like, I could put the Steelworker there, but I just realized that can't happen, so... fuck. It's not good. I will say at least we've gotten our value out of the old Center Salve. I wonder if I should be doing this. I feel like I should. You have to kind of commit to this. I need to get as much damage as possible. Probably could have actually just kept that around, probably. As you can see, the damage is just kind of a joke on this path. For what you have to, I don't know, it's like I have to fill the entire floor with this thing. He has no health. He has trample, which doesn't matter. I'm only on 35 shards and I can't even kill a tank. So... I'm unconvinced on this path, to say the least. Need to save as much damage as possible here. I'm willing to leak. More than willing to leak. These just aren't good cards to bring back. Do that. Oh, I don't know if we do this. I guess we do for the Space Prism, but it does delay our draw. But it could, like, just save me some hits. Fortunately, I do need to get rid of these torches, probably. Should have, oh, we might be dead here. Vent saved us, I think. So we're having to get lucky to win these. It's not a good sign. I may have to take this. I don't know, though. 145. I could skip and probably afford a reroll here, which is probably more important. Yeah. Could take this down to 0, but it's just not that good of a card, I feel. Like, it's good in Diligent and Diligent only. It's gonna hurt me in all the other cases. Skip. It used to cost 0, but if I recall correctly, and that was fine. It was not, I don't know. Maybe it was too easy to get infinites or something, I don't know. I guess we skip here. Something like Transcendent might have been the way to go. But we're committed at this point. We gotta try again. And we skip a Hellvent, which sucks, but it is what it is. Alright, well, this is worth it. So we got the holdover. I can Hellvent it once. Okay, we'll get every Shade Splitter down to 0. Would be good. Now I could re-roll and afford one more Ember if this sucks, which I think would be worth it. It doesn't suck. Probably should take this. Let's get rid of the remaining stewards. And would do that, I don't think so though. I think we're fine here. You should be. That is easily the worst boss we could have seen, though. Easily the worst boss we could have seen. This is iffy. I can live without apparels. I think the fact that we have. Okay. Turns out it would have been fine, but whatever. Don't even know if torching that healer was necessarily worth it. We are gonna be a fuck creek without a paddle here. We've bottom decked both void bindings. Imagine if it just dropped in with actual good stats, which, for the record, it does not. Just feed. Are we just feeding this guy? I mean, we're feeding him anyway. I need to remove this. If I don't get a good rare at the next ring, I definitely need to remove it. Oh my god. Remind me again why Trample's so great. Two hits. I might be willing to. I mean, damage shield doesn't do anything. It just doesn't do anything. Probably dead here. Okay, we barely live. They took 50 damage. And that's why I value fire health more than gold. Just useless shit. Pretty much Void Binding is the only good thing that we can find at this point. It's the world's worst Ember Dream deck. There we go, right here. Chain of Gems could be good. Railhammer, if I'd taken the Hidden Passage, could have been good. We cannot do Volatile Gauge here. If I buy this, that's what I'm buying. You know, I don't have enough gold to reroll and afford anything. I suppose it's one of the best things I could find, considering how much of a joke, you know, Monstrous. All that pip, but so little health. I'll take it. Maybe we should remove some torches for this fight. They are really bad. Am I casting? I might spend money coming up. Just remove one then. Definitely should spend money. I could maybe find another holdover, and that's kind of like hell venting. If we find a spell chain here as well. I mean, I won't even be able to use these on the floor at the next level. Yeah, I might as well do this then. I should have used this first. Really need it. Like, if I don't get a good rare specifically right here, then I need to remove that card. It's like a top priority removal. Though I don't know, maybe now that I've lasted this long, maybe I should just keep it for Diligent. I don't know. I may need it. Need to remove the Steelworker too. It's killing my opener draw. I'll get one here anyway. I don't know. Do I keep this? Probably not. I'll say Chain of Gems has been saving me a ton of health. So it was definitely worth it. It probably won me this fight. $69. I just don't think I'm gonna get enough damage because I... Okay, last stand. Now I keep the broken memories, so now I keep it. These are actually all pretty good in all of the contexts. So, yeah, last stand, now we have enough damage. That plus the Resonant Shard will be good. We definitely go to the right here. There's a lot now that opened up. I wonder if I should remove the Consume. So I need 25 shards. I need 15 shards. Could just self-infuse, like... I mean, I could just infuse a Steelworker to get rid of it. Actually might be better, because do I really need Intrinsic on... I guess I could Intrinsic that. Not the worst Intrinsic. It's like, I don't know. I start 10, like I draw 10, and then I'm drawing 7, like, I guess I'm not gonna remove many cards. Yeah, I actually think this might be the best use of my shards. Just get rid of this way. I don't need an intrinsic. I could still take the intrinsic. Should have done this first. Wing Steel's fine. It's pretty good here, actually. So I don't think I'm gonna do this. Let's check the cavern, though. Some crap cavern. I don't think that cavern is any better than it used to be, which is to say it's horrible. Definitely want this thing to be cheaper. Could permafrost it. We could just permafrost one of these. I'm going to intrinsic since I can't spell chain it. And then I'll Hellvent it and we'll be at 115 shards, no big deal. Stat, I don't know, to me the stat line is a joke. For a 6 pip unit, only 100 health, like... To me this is no, like, different than Sweep Tethys. In terms of being probably useless for you on Divinity. At least, like, on Divinity, I feel like with less investment, I can get value out of Sweep Tethys. I mean, you had to center the entire run around Penumbra Trample to make it even work, and even then it may not work. Even then it just may not work. I think it's worse than Sweep Tethys. This damage should be irrelevant, other than leaks. I mean, if they leak, yeah, it's relevant. I hope that ends up being true. The statement I just made. We can now we can't. You know what sucks though? I can't actually do what I was doing with the Chain of Gems, which is probably a pretty big thing. That is something. It's like... I don't know. Maybe we don't have enough defense. It's pretty fucked up. I don't know. could always bring Space Prism back, though. Maybe I should have removed the consume on whatchamacallit. I feel like for this fight, defense is going to be more important, so I'm going to bring that back. Especially with the Wilt Wings, like, multi-striking, like... Yeah, I think we definitely want to get this stuff up in there. We got a vent coming up. Does I go here? No. It'd be nice to take these Wilt Wings out. I'm gonna do this. We have to take that out. Should have actually put that down there. Whoops. We should be good. 23 damage shield should be enough. Alright, so Last Stand only gets played once, it appears, I think. I am not like that convinced we even beat Divinity because of the lack of defense. Probably have to Hellvent the Void Binding, honestly. We could use this as additional fodder. We are getting to that point where Diligent is... I mean, we may not even be Diligent, but... I don't know. Just win more. We have to Hellvent. Removal would be nice too. Potentially another... We could get another holdover. We could get... we could find that consumer move. Double stack is no longer really doing much for us. Maybe we don't Hellvent. I don't know. Hellvent the Void Binding. Jack Strips could help that first wave. I don't know that I care about that first wave. Faulty Loader's good. Just do removals past that. These are bad. Okay, we're just gonna remove all of the torches. They were technically okay in that last fight, but they're definitely not okay anymore. Well, here goes nothing. That one first. Could save that. Definitely playing these. Definitely playing all of these. Don't really want to eat up the melee weakness here, but I don't think it'll really matter. Could just do this now. I think I will. Oops, I didn't realize I was going to redraw that there. It's also worth noting that... yeah, let's kill this. Do need to preserve my damage shield, though. You know, Diligent doesn't really matter that I'm keeping another floor alive, unfortunately. I gotta say, this is probably the most value on any run I've ever gotten out of Center South. Like, not even kidding. Actually, like an insane amount of value. Lifesteal doesn't matter here. Bust this one, I guess. Can do this now. This is why we have the fodder. Eventually, this Perils will become fodder. It's not looking good. Oops. That was actually fine, I think. But definitely, I don't know. That's not necessarily good. It's not necessarily good. Definitely should have probably just broken the shade splitter, but here we could probably just break the vent. Yeah, we can break this now. Shade splitters definitely did their job. So 1,000 takes me too long to get to 1,000, I feel. Let's see. I may have to really be greedy with my last stand to beat this. But we at least do kind of luck out here in the first group at least. Yeah, I'm definitely not playing the last stand right now. Just throw you away mid. Can also double play last stand if we think with the extra void binding, I would throw away 3 damage shield essentially a turn by not replaying with my broken memories the thing. Either way, I'm not playing it now. Moment of truth. These guys have damage shield. I've removed all my torches. Maybe I shouldn't have, because this vent cannot kill us something like this. So I take 3 there for sure. I have 12 damage shield. I would take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here I would take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm taking like 7 damage shield a turn. I can earn 4 damage shield per void binding. I have 3 of them in the deck. At this point, this is permafrosted, so I don't redraw it. Say I play that, I play out whatever I play. At that point, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 cards. We'll say 12 cards, and I draw 6, factoring in I have a holdover card. So 12 cards, I draw 6. I should be drawing Void Binding at least once a turn, but I need to draw it twice a turn to sustain myself. I have 12 damage shield of 11 damage shield of leeway after this turn. I think I can do Last Stand then, given all of that. Alternatively, do I need Last Stand? I mean, how much health am I looking at here? So I need to do 255, 3, 4, 35, 615, 625. Well, I don't even have the Last Stand played yet. But yeah, I think we're gonna not do the Space Prism. I think we have to really get that damage going and hope that it's enough. So play one here. Can at least do that to eliminate 1 damage there. Oh man, that one's gonna be brutal. And at least this one only takes up 3 hits, so losing all of my damage shield here. We draw those. No point playing Shade Splitters, I guess. We can play him here for an extra damage hit, I suppose. That's beautiful. I think that just won us the fight. Actually, Vent, low-key, might have just carried there. We can draw a Last Stand this turn. We're also doing a lot of damage to Divinity. 1, 2. Yeah, let's draw it this turn. Guess we can get our extra Ember here. Doesn't do anything there, does plenty there though. We should be good. We've gotten through all the hardest stuff. Yeah, looks like that did it. There are perils you can get played. Alright, well, I wouldn't say it was blessed. I would say that that run is harder than your average Monster Train run, all things considered. give me any unit, any halfway decent unit. Like, say I just had a Horned Warrior, for example. I could have given that thing quick. Could have given it additional multi-strike. Definitely could have got it some health. Could have put that Steelworker into it. It would have been better, and I wouldn't have had to take any intrinsic space. I could simply help into that, put a few of them down. I have a Last Stand. I wouldn't even have to go Ember Drain, but I have it there. But I could also had different outs, like at that point, Dark Pact or whatever works. Don't know, I can't remember the name of it, but the one where you do 5 damage to yourself. So I don't know. I just don't think Monstrous Penumbra is good at all. Like, I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, give me a Holdover Perils and 3 double-stacked Void Bindings on any other setup, and I'll crush the run. This, it's like a nail-biting, almost losing run at several different points. Several different points, right? I mean, realistically, we easily could have lost against Daedalus. We could have lost Ring 2. We could have lost 3, 4. Probably not 5, or 5, but probably not 6. Probably not 7. I think we probably win Diligent Divinity most of the time, but the whole run we were gearing toward that, so I hope we would. And we still just, like, it's still, like, questionable, right? So I don't know. I don't, like, consider Monstrous Penumbra good in the slightest. But let's see what everyone else did. And here you see, I mean, I feel like I'm a bit psychic here, like, yeah, and Brand of Warrior could go that route as well, right? And sure enough, this thing doesn't have quick, but it has another multi-strike, so it's hitting 3 times. That's way better than Trample. I mean, you get a force multiplier of ×3 to every single rage here. He's gaining rage on Slay. The Architect Penumbra, arguably, I'd say 100 over 40 isn't even that different than the full stats of Monstrous Penumbra, all things considered, considering this is -1 pip versus 6 pip. And then so you can just put that on the floor and put these other things with it. And this takes care of a lot of AoE. You don't have to pigeon yourself into Ember Drain, even though it looks like they have it here. Don't know if this is that necessary, but there's this. Looks like there is eventually plenty of Endless too at these steel shops. Yeah. And you can do that anyway, though I don't know if it's really super necessary here. I don't know what they're feeding stuff to. Seems like they're trying to feed morsels. Looks like this is a blank pages run too. But yeah, I mean, you can see it there, like, it just handles everything quite well. It goes to basically 200 shards. It's a lot more powerful than Monstrous Penumbra. Evil as well, went the Architect Penumbra route. Self-infused, yeah, I mean, as bad as Umbra units are, even a self-infused alloy is miles better than a Monstrous Penumbra. It's 2 pip, strikes 4 times. Yeah, you gotta feed it, but it's just better. And it has quick. This one has quick, so you don't have to worry about defense remotely as much. And Yibel probably would have loved to have found the wing technology. They didn't find it, but they did find a Rail Forger's hammer, which is pretty good. Though maybe with that, it's already the setup's pretty good without it, but it's just nice to have. Then there's me. I mean, yeah, look at this, 170 over 100 for 6 pip and trample versus 100 over 40 for -1 pip. And you give up trample. I don't know. It's just like night and day. Like, and again, let's say I didn't all in on Penumbra here, right? Because there's no such thing as all in Penumbra Architect. You're always getting value from it. But with the with this, let's say it's a run where I don't go all in on trying to make this the carry. Well, what does it even do for me? I have to take a pip upgrade unless I want to flex it into something else, which is horrible, by the way. Other than it can be good with Gorge if you have like the Shroud Spike setup already in place. That's the one exception I'll give. But at that point, you're a Gorge Penumbra, really. You're just getting your trample if you never found Umbra Stone, which on this run you do find an Umbra Stone. But you know, let's say you're going full trample, you have to take a pip upgrade, or you have to take an intrinsic space thing, and you also have to well, yeah, you have to take that first of all, which is a huge investment, by the way, if that pip didn't serve you in a big way otherwise, right? So we're thinking along the lines of it's a run where I'm focusing on another floor and Monstrous Penumbra is just coming down for value on a different floor and just sitting there and doing stuff. So I better hope that a wide floor is something that benefits me, because if it doesn't, I just gave up a boss upgrade to put this horribly statted unit down. And you know, horribly statted in the context of what it is. It's a unit that takes up the entire floor on an already pip upgraded floor, can't chump block, can't put other stuff to support it, etc., etc. So on Divinity, where as we saw even by the second wave, there's a light wing that does 50 damage, right? So, you know, and then the first wave does however much plus Divinity. I mean, I guess you're putting it on the bottom floor or the top floor. You can't put it mid unless you took an additional pip upgrade. So let's say bottom floor, because most likely if it's a throwaway, you're setting up your main floor on the top. I can't imagine you're setting up on the bottom. So you got this on the bottom floor. It takes, you know, say we don't incant anything at the bottom, though we would have to incant if it's, you know, the Space Prism route. But let's give even some charity and say we don't have to incant. We took a pip upgrade and you're taking 3 times 4 plus the 10 from the clergyman, so or 3 times 3, we'll say 9, and then 29, and then 12 or whatever from divinity. Depending on how many shards you make, we'll just round it down to 12. We'll say 29 plus 12, and that's 41 damage. And then the next group kills you, because there's the 50 damage plus a Lightwing plus Divinity alone already kills you, but then there's other units as well. So you got one hit off, and 50% of the time it's a damage shield group, so you may not even actually do anything other than break one damage shield. But you know, if you're lucky and the 50% is the incant group, then you did 170 damage, which doesn't even clear that wave. So sweet, you had killed half of the first wave, which is by far the least threatening wave of Divinity, and then you died. That's what Monstrous Penumbra does for you. So forgive me if I'm unimpressed by this champ path at all. Like I said, Dire Channel's the only one that's worse, I think. And maybe, I don't know, maybe Reaper's better. I mean, I don't have to take a pip upgrade for Reaper. I feel like it's easier for me to make Reaper work as a carry. I just think this is like second worst path in the game. And I don't know. Like, to me, it rounds down to doing nothing as a throwaway unit, but I had to take a pip upgrade. So I don't have to take a pip upgrade to throw away Tethys. and et cetera, et cetera. And here's the thing: even if you can say like, oh well, you just don't play it. Well, that's a dead card in your deck on redraw every time, which in this, in a lot of scenarios, is pretty devastating, right? So I just cannot stand this path. I don't get it. I don't get it. But I probably ranted too long on that. Let's see what everyone else did. So I think everything beyond this was a loss. And they went full trample, right? Blackjack here. Had that. And I'll be honest, from what I recall, spell chaining this had to YOLO it before finding holdover. I'm never a huge fan of that. I think it's a 15 shard speculation that I don't know. It is cool to have holdover perils, but I've had enough runs where you just don't find holdover, and it's pretty much 15 wasted shards at that point, in my opinion. Not necessarily, right? But it kind of is. I don't know. I'm not like hugely against it. I just don't personally do it myself. Like Apparels is going to do what it does, regardless of the spell chain or not. I'd rather have the holdover already if I'm going to commit 15 shards to it, but it's just my personal opinion. And it's not like vastly different than what we have, though, right? I will say, though, I think Mortal Trade's not a good pickup here. It's completely redundant with Void Binding. You're either going to go Void Binding or you're going to go a Mortal Trade. Don't take both. This is kind of a wasted pick, in my opinion. Um, but, I like this. I like that. Like that. I guess if your plan is to commit to the zero cost here, it's fine. Though I still don't like it. I think we saw in the Diligent fight, I did just fine with having enough spell fodder, so this just doesn't do enough in the non-Diligent fights to warrant a deck slot, in my opinion. But it's not like it's just the first draw through that it screws, right? But to me, that first draw through is very important. And I like the idea with a lot of the stuff. Like, I like the zero cost Shade Splitter. I don't like taking Wing Technology over the Hell's Banners, though. That might have been actually a kind of a big thing. I mean, this is fine, but again, that Hell's Banners would have made this a lot easier. So there's not massive differences, but I think actually, like, probably the biggest difference here is that Hell's Banners. Otherwise, we're like the same deck. Mm, I, I also they also didn't have the chain, so they didn't have the chain of gems, which I think if they had the chain of gems, I would like this pip upgrade a lot more. But if you already have an intrinsic space prism, I do not like that upgrade there. I would say. Maybe they just plan on putting this in front of Penumbra, but honestly, you don't have to. You can put that on mid or bottom floor, and it's doing its job either way. But I guess maybe the wing technology technically is kind of like maybe they're really banking on the wing technology, so I guess it's not horrible. But I will say an entire less draw per turn is somewhat significant. They died to Divinity. And I wonder if I can't imagine it's because of a lack of offense. I would guess it's a lack of defense. I don't know. The defense would be not being able to play these as much, which if you're not drawing as much could be a thing. Hard to say for sure. Trample. It is funny, right? Like the trample's the ones that's losing everything. Just shows how it's just, I don't know, it's kind of a bad path. Probably just way too hard on shards here by ring 2. 65 is quite a lot, and I don't even know what the. Yeah, this is way too speculative. Like you're putting 15 shards into this, it's not even endless. Yeah, you're putting 25. Forgive me, 25, and 15 here. Again, no holdovers, so it's like, what are you getting out of this at the point you do it here? This is why I don't like it here. This is fine. This is like, you get the immediate benefit. You're really setting up for guaranteed not having to pick up pip upgrade, which is nice. But other than that, just the use of shards here is too aggressive when you're not getting anything in return. And another thing I'll say about Monstrous Penumbra, in my opinion, you can evaluate some champ paths, even if you know they're not going to do anything for divinity. You can evaluate what they're getting you through the first 3 rings, because often you may not have a banner unit to use, maybe for even 2 rings, right? And I think that it's the worst of the 3 Penumbra paths by a good margin. It has the worst stats, and the trample is largely irrelevant. And it takes up the most space, so you can't put anything else on the floor with it. Like, Gorge is incredibly strong in the first 3 rings. It's one of the strongest of any path, of any champ. It's one of the biggest reasons I like Gorge. I don't love it, but I like it. And then Architect is obviously just really good. You have basically the same, stats, and you get 1 pip versus 4 pip. It's gigantic. But I digress. And then, yeah, another trample loss. So the only 2 architects ended up winning and getting the 2 highest scores. I'm the only trample that beat it, and every other trample loss. That says it all, right? Architects just better across the board. Even with the ideal thing to see at the start for a trample Penumbra, Architect's better. So, as always, thanks for watching, and until next time, peace.